Hello, I'm Paul Bradshaw.
And I'm Lauren Gray. Welcome to Viral History, your weekly fix of fascinating ephemera from the world of history.
Coming up on this week's show, I sit down with historian and writer Tracy Borman.
And I meet up with Nick Hodges, creator of YouTube channel History Buffs. First up, let's go to the news.
New research is revealing that Viking armies that invaded Britain in the 9th century were much larger than previously thought. The excavation at the camp at Torksey in Lincolnshire showed the site was the size of 75 football pitches, reflecting a Viking army several thousand strong, larger than most towns of the period. And excavations at Bamborough Castle have unearthed a unique find of national significance. A small copper alloy fragment decorated with an intricate zoomorphic depiction of a bird is likely from the 8th century.
Next up, Tracy Borman is one of our most respected historians and writers, with books on everything from witchcraft to Thomas Cromwell.
And Viral History had great pleasure in talking to her about the Tudors.
The Tudors were dazzlingly successful at restoring not just the authority of monarchy, but also the mystique. They created this division between the public and the private and appointed themselves almost as godly beings. So, of course, everybody adored them.
In what ways and how effectively was England governed during the Tudor period?
England was very much a sovereign state during the Tudor period. The Tudors reigned and ruled as well, and everybody respected their authority. There were also seismic changes during the 16th century, notably the Reformation, the revolution in government. We were a very different country by 1603 to the one that the Tudors inherited in 1485.
Could this be called the beginning of the modern?
I think there is a transition during the Tudor period. It goes from medieval during the Plantagenets, and then of course it's propelled into the beginnings of a modern age.
How did English society and the economy change during this period, and with what effects?
There were very significant changes in society and the economy. There was a lot more regionalisation, as well as having this strong central power of government. There was also a devolution of power to local authorities, the beginning of poor law, of keeping records locally. Lots of the things that historians now rely on actually began thanks to the revolution of the Tudors.
It's great to talk with someone so steeped in their subject.
Well, next up on Viral History, we sit down with a fellow YouTuber and content creator of the mighty channel History Buffs. So Nick, what is History Buffs and how did you come up with the idea?
Well, History Buffs is a channel that reviews historical movies and tells people how accurate they are. Like how accurate was Gladiator or Braveheart the Patriot. And I wanted to do it I wanted to do a film review show on YouTube, and I noticed that there wasn't any show that was dedicated just to reviewing historical movies. And I thought that if I wanted to try and make YouTube a career, that might be something new, tapping into a niche market that not many other people were doing.
So when did you launch your channel, and were you surprised by how quickly your numbers grew?
I think the first video I uploaded was back in July 2015, and it took a while before the channel started to grow, but once it did, yeah, I was really happy. It exceeded my expectations and everyone else's. So yeah.
How do you choose which films to review?
I choose them based on the popularity of the film and also how many people have been requesting it. So, for example, at the end of each video, I say, "Let me know which film you'd like me to do." And when I take a look at the comments and I see which films pops up the most. So I noticed that I came to a point when I typed in History Buffs in the search engine of YouTube, it would say History Buffs and all the films I've done, but at the very top would be one film that I had never done, and it was Saving Private Ryan. So I was like, okay, now I definitely gotta cover that.
So history's been approached in lots of different ways in the past number of centuries, from print to multimedia. How do you see that growing in the future?
Like, Assassin's Creed, there was also the new Battlefield 1 game, which It's set during the First World War. And one of the things I noticed that when that game came out, due to its popularity, that people were obsessed with the First World War and researching as much as they could about it. So I really think games is the next step after that.
So why do you think that history is having a renaissance of sorts?
I guess you could say it's going through a renaissance on the internet. I mean, personally, I believe that it's not being tackled on telly as much as it used to be, but I think that people are just really hungry for it, and they want to get as much as they could. So. And
do you have any other plans for history buffs in the near future?
Well, right now I'm reviewing, I'm writing a script for the movie Timeline, which is a film about a bunch of archaeologists who go back to the 100 Years' War in France in the 14th century. Then I'm doing The Bounty, and then I'm thinking of reviewing a film called Tora, which is a film about Pearl Harbor. A lot of my subscribers have been asking me to review Pearl Harbor because it's not known as a very good film. But I thought, instead of that, maybe I should bring people's attention to an excellent Pearl Harbor film that more people should be aware of.
Thank you, Nick, for having that in-depth interview with us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Here's Marguerite with On This Day.
Today, in 1907, Frank Whittle, the inventor of the jet engine, was born in Coventry. He lived until 1996, seeing his invention used all over the world.
Well, that is all from us this week.
Feel free to hit the subscribe button, follow Viral History on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, like this video and tune in next week.
And remember, what's past is prologue.
See you in 7 days.
With books and everything from Rich... And you've pressed it this time?
Elizabeth, as queen, had more limitations than her mother had.
And I meet up with Nick Hodges, So history's bringing up... Next up...